I help entrepreneurs, C-suite executives even, and small business owners find and eliminate the blind spots in their business operations.
Okay.
So that they can save time, money, energy, and even scale 10x their revenue even.
10x revenue.
Yeah, I've done that.
That's the
Yes.
dream, right?
They're like,
You don't formulate it.
Listen, it's all there. What we're doing is we're constantly recreating.
No, you said formulate, create.
Yes, it is ideate, formulate, create.
Okay.
Automate, delegate,
recreate.
So we're
evaluate.
It's all
in the middle.
center.
Yeah, I got
so
you.
listen. Ryan is like, listen.
I'm ready. Put me in the game,
ready.
coach.
But yes.
All right, guys, welcome to Success on Repeat. Welcome everybody to another episode of Success on Repeat. I'm Ryan Cabrera. Thanks so much for being here. What a blessing it is to have you tuning in. I am here at the Wyndham Grand Hotel in Clearwater, Florida with white sandy beaches. My family and I are having a great time, but even better than that is I'm getting to mastermind with other entrepreneurs. And tonight, or today, I guess it's still today time, I have Kewana McDonald with me. Thanks so much for being with me, Kewana.
Thank you for having me, Ryan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Doing real well, actually.
Good stuff.
So, Success on Repeat, you hear us in the intro, you know, kind of our podcast and whatnot.
Yeah.
We're trying to follow successful people and the people that help other people achieve success. Mm-hmm. And I want to understand a little bit about your business. Tell me what you do. Tell me about your business model and kind of where you're at today.
Sure. So I help entrepreneurs, C-suite executives even, and small business owners find and eliminate the blind spots in their business operations.
Okay.
So that they can save time, money, energy, and even scale 10x their revenue even.
10x revenue.
Yeah, I've done that.
That's the
yes,
dream, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you're helping them find the blind spots.
Yes.
So I want to get more into that here in just a minute, because I guess when you think about blind spots, the reason it's a blind spot is because you don't know it's there.
You don't know it's there.
Yeah,
and if you notice in entrepreneurship, let's be real, in the journey, is like you tend to find out after the issue.
Yeah.
You're like, I wouldn't even have known that to prevent it. So many times in entrepreneurship, people are reactive to what's happening. Yeah, well, I've found a system so that you could be more proactive before you get there. Yeah, that way you don't have to always hit all the potholes.
Okay, yeah. I'll tell you what, part of my story and how I started with payment processing and whatnot is I've started over from scratch twice. And each time it got easier.
Yes.
But I tell people that there are landmines.
Yes.
And if you knew where the landmines were, you wouldn't have walked there.
Yes.
And so that's the way I kind of think.
Exactly.
It's like Simba in The Lion King with his dad, Mufasa. He's like, what's on the other side where the shadows are? You must never go there.
Right, period. Don't go there. Only where the light touches.
So what does he do? He goes there, right?
That's where he
entrepreneurs.
goes. Yeah.
It is what it is. So tell me then, you're helping entrepreneurs, C-suite executives, business owners find blind spots in their businesses. Your business, how's that going now? Obviously, you're having some level of success and we're beyond Success on Repeat, right?
Well, it's so funny. So I was kind of in operations, you tend to stay behind the scenes.
Sure.
I'm such a behind the scenes girl. Okay. So I tend to be there, and my business was only moving via word of mouth.
Okay.
Because they were like, oh my goodness, you just saved me a ton.
Yeah.
Or, oh my goodness, that was happening.
Yeah.
And so I would just get work that way.
Yeah.
And literally, I was asked to speak at an event in Turks and Caicos.
Okay.
And it was in front of an audience I don't normally interact with as far as business goes.
Okay.
And I said, well, I'm just going to share. And when I say they were floored, and they said to me, you have to tell the masses, like you have to go and share this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, I mean, and word of mouth, they'll figure it out. They were like, no, we wouldn't even have known if you didn't come and share. And I was only asked by one of my clients to come.
Yeah.
You see? So I was like, see, word of mouth. They weren't having it. They literally prayed over me. And they were just like,
you got anointed and appointed.
They were like, sent. You are going to go, okay? Period. And I remember going home and saying to myself, wow, they really made me feel bad. Like, it was almost like you have something that can help so many small business owners, and you're not going to just proclaim. And I said, I literally repented to God, and I said, I mean, it's his model. Right. So I said,
there's a proverb about that. I think if I remember, it's Proverbs 11:26, and y'all can check me if I'm wrong. But it says something about corn in the King James, and it says it says like the man that withholdeth the corn, right, will be scorned or whatever, but blessed is a man who sells it or something.
Yeah. And I was just like, I'm gonna go.
Like the fact that you have something good, that people can use, and that you're not selling it, means they're gonna, when they find out that you were withholding from them, they're gonna be
so upset.
Yeah.
And that's like literally. And I said, okay, I'm gonna go. I took that as God showing me, it's time for you to go out.
It's time. Yeah.
You've been creating, and over 10 years.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Building this out, this model, and testing it.
Yeah.
In different avenues, in my own companies and in my clientele, and he's like, you have to.
Well, listen, I'm a business owner. I'm ready to find some find some problems. Some blind spots.
Right. And it's so deep. If you want to know where you find this was actually developed in Genesis chapter 1.
Okay.
Because I said to God,
there's a lot in there.
Yeah. I said to God, God, if you were to build a business today, how would you do it?
Yeah. Okay.
He was like, the same way I build anything. Where do I build anything?
In 6 days.
Right.
I'm going to work real hard and I'm going to take a break.
Right. But as I started to study Genesis chapter 1, and let me back up real quick.
Yeah.
The reason I got there is I got my undergrad in international business. I got my MBA in global business.
Okay.
I got an award in high school for taking every business elective they offered.
Wow.
Unknowingly to me. I was like, really? I didn't know that was a thing. Isn't
there a DECA or some club in high school for business, like future business?
They created I was the only one with the award. They created that award to highlight that they had. I'm sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
But the idea was I kept going into this business realm. Yeah. And as I was studying, there were certain things in it that I thought was off.
Okay.
That's just the truth. I was just like, something about this is off, or something about that is off. And that's what brought me to the question of, okay, God, if you were to create a business today, how would you do it?
Yeah.
And we went down that journey of Genesis chapter 1. And usually, you know how it is in scripture. You study one thing, it takes you to other parts of the Bible, that whole thing. So I was in Joseph, and I was in Moses, and I was everywhere, all the stories. I mean, I know that's Genesis still, but I'm just saying the story of Joseph, the story of Moses. I was everywhere, but I learned so much. And it started to come together into this model. And my mother was a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
So I saw a lot of her pitfalls.
She's got some pedigree.
Yeah, I saw a lot of her issues. I was able to see firsthand.
You learned what not to do.
Yeah, what not to do. Yeah. And I started to see that within the realm of the model that God was showing me. And when I say now that it's like built out and I've been like deploying it, it's just rich. It's just like, wow, this is amazing. So I get amazed. It's a me, God thing. Like, I'm like, this is amazing. But to watch other people say, no, I want that. Down to the point where right now, 2 people want to license it, to share it with other business owners. And I was just like, okay, I got to go back to my IP lawyer.
What does that even look like?
Yeah, I got to go back to my IP lawyer now. And she was like, I was trying to tell you about this, So it really has blessed a lot of people. It really has helped even my own company. So I am just truly blessed. Do that with me over the last decade.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so obviously you didn't start, right? This journey didn't start with you getting an epiphany, right?
Right.
You started somewhere.
Yeah.
Tell me that story. Where did you start? And then how did you bridge the gap to being a successful entrepreneur that's now being sought out by other entrepreneurs?
So again, because my mother was a serial entrepreneur and I didn't quite fit in school, I did well. Yeah. I got straight A's.
Okay.
But I didn't fit in.
Yeah.
I did a lot of learning from her. And so I was that daughter that was like, you going to the office? Let me come with you. Because we were immigrants. We came from Jamaica.
Okay.
And I watched my mother come to a brand new country with different ways of doing things and everything. Start from us being in shelters.
Wow.
Okay, in and out of shelters and like all types of things. To going to school as a single mom, going to school, building an empire where she started a law firm, owned real estate, started beauty supply stores. Like, I mean, I have seen her just climb that ladder and all the pitfalls and all I wanted to do was, is there any way I could help?
Yeah.
Is there any way I could help? So I would find myself streamlining her operations and then I'd free up her time. Free up her time thinking, okay, I'm going to have some one-on-one time. And she just goes start another business.
We got to go start something else.
We're going to start
That was good. Let's do it again.
Let's watch, rinse, repeat.
Yep.
Let's repeat that success.
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Period.
Success on repeat.
There you go. And so I saw that happening and I saw all the pitfalls and then put it in with the model that God was showing me. And I got to the place where I was like working now for, I had like one real job, to be quite honest. Like I was in grad school. I was like, I gotta be responsible. I'm gonna have a job. I worked underneath a CEO of a company. He was the president of operations, okay? And his brother owned the other part of the company. They were co-partners in this thing. And I streamlined, like he had a process that would take 40 hours. And I was like, who's doing that? So I did it his way, just to make sure I understood everything. And then I brought it down to 3 hours. 40 hours to 3 hours the following month. And
that's more than a 10x improvement.
He was floored, and then he fired me. And I was confused.
It's like, I don't need you anymore.
I said, why? I went to my father-in-law like, what did I do wrong? He was just like, okay, so they want you to be good, but they don't want you to be that good.
Yeah.
Because then there's threatening. Like, what systems did you put in place? Like, I can't, what if she takes over the company? Because I don't understand what she did. Even though I was willing to train and even though I was willing to show, I was like thinking I'm saving him time. So when that happened to me and I realized I would have to dumb down what I was just like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Because he would pay me 30 times more if I was just a consultant coming in, saving you that kind of money.
That's right.
So I was like, that's what made me say, I'm going to
be a consultant.
I'm going to do this myself.
See you on the flip side.
Right. Catch you later.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right.
So I did that, and it's so funny because I then took a pause. Like some years I went into that, and then I took a pause to homeschool my children.
Oh, cool.
Because I didn't fit into school. I figured you might not fit in.
So I homeschool. I'm with it.
Right. So I homeschooled them, paused and all that, but I was still doing in that pause. Like one of my clients, I helped her to scale up to 8 figures, part-time, like, because I'm homeschooling.
Yeah.
So these principles, these, just deploying them, she was able to scale to 8 figures. And then when she scaled it, she almost lost all of it. And I came in and saved it just because I knew exactly what to do, because I knew this model inside and out.
Yeah.
And then now that my children are older and they can like take the reins of their learning and education and all those things, I'm now doing it full time again. And now it's like everyone is coming, and now this is happening. So what the success looked like for me was just watching people's businesses flourish.
Yeah.
But
if consultants would measure their success based on the success of their clients, then there would be a lot better consulting world. Because like the consulting world is wrought with empty promises and high fees for low,
turnarounds or transformations
return.
Or
yeah,
anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, literally in my model, I show entrepreneurs how to measure their growth based on my model. And we talk about that in our sessions.
Yeah.
I'll be like, but how much money did that save you though?
Yeah.
Or how much money did you make because we just did this?
Yeah. Yeah.
it's an exercise that has to be done. Because I don't want to just have you assume. I want you to see where your growth is coming from. I want you to see it.
Yeah.
That way you know that this is not like made up, hogwash or whatever it is. This is like legitimate growth you're getting here.
Yeah.
So I show them that and they're like, man, I'm very transparent with that.
Right.
So yeah.
Right, because a lot of times, the transformation, and it sounds like you're giving businesses an operational transformation,
yes.
right? And I want to say that there are a lot of the promises in the consulting world and in the, space that we're, masterminding in, right? Yeah. With the online entrepreneurs and all that kind of stuff. Most of it is how much money you can add to the top line.
Yeah.
And you may, correct me if I'm wrong, you may consult on that as well.
Yeah.
But that top line revenue, like you'll see ads. Oh, we did $1 million on Amazon FBA or whatever. And it's like, okay, you did $1 million, but like you kept what? 50 bucks,
Right. Let me tell you. Oh, Ryan.
And that's my point is that the $1 million doesn't mean anything if you didn't get to keep it.
If you didn't get to keep it.
So operational consulting that improves your business is so drastically different and I don't want to say better because obviously people that can help you increase the top line, if there's no top line, there's no bottom line.
There's no bottom line.
Okay.
Yeah, they have to
work. And your bottom line
together.
will only be as big as your top line.
Correct.
Right? You'll never.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
We get that. However, a penny saved is a penny earned, right?
That's right.
A dollar saved is a dollar earned. So every dollar you save in operations and is money that you get to keep. It's actual tangible bottom line value.
That's right.
So you're just dropping stuff into the bottom line. The other piece of this is when you streamline operations, you can improve top line.
You can. Right. And that's the part that
because time is let up for you to do the things that need to be done on the top line. Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
And the other part to this is when you have a great operational system and you have the proper people in place and now you are freed up to go ahead and grow.
Yeah.
You're in essence starting to build your company in a way for exit.
Right.
That's where the money is.
That's where the money is. Yeah.
That's where the money is.
Yeah.
It's like now, let's say you build out your company, Ryan, and let's pretend none of your children want it. Let's pretend. I was just looking at one of my kids who's helping run the video. Let's just pretend.
Yeah.
Let's pretend.
He may just want the money after I sell it.
But the idea is it's not, you didn't just work for it to die.
Correct. Yeah.
It doesn't die with you.
I'm not captive to it.
You're not captive.
I'm not a slave to the business. Yeah.
And I think that is one of the biggest issues with why I'm so big on operational changes and streamlines. Because I'm like, you came into business to be free.
Yeah.
But then you created your own slavery. That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
And then now you get to keep a lot of the money because you kind of can widen your profit margins and you can take that, invest. There's so many things you can do as opposed to just, we made a whole lot of money and we couldn't even collect it because our systems were messed up. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a real thing.
Right.
They'll sell it and then it's like, well, how many, the payment plans, like how many, oh, well, this broke down or this is not, or my sales guy didn't call them, and I'm like, so how much of the money did you keep? Did you get?
Yeah.
Are these people still in your program? Like, that whole thing. And it's just like, no.
No, not for nothing. Obviously, as a payment processor, we can help.
Yes.
Get people paid.
Put a little plug in right there.
Yeah. You're watching this right now, and you didn't realize that what you needed was a good payment processor.
There you go. That's a very important part of operations.
That's right.
But simple systems like that. I helped one client literally find a piece of software that they already had, that they were not using, in order to streamline a pain point for them.
Yeah.
And I said, but you are blind spots.
Yeah, blind spots.
The blind spots.
Yeah.
But the model reveals it. It's almost like if you have a basket and baskets have holes.
Yeah, I guess they do.
Unless you pitch it. But
okay.
baskets do have holes unless they're lined with something.
Yeah.
And you pour water into it, water falls out.
Right.
Now, when someone looks at a basket, you just think to put stuff in. You're not thinking about the fact that the basket has holes.
Yeah.
And there's only certain types of things you can put in there.
Right.
Until you try to put something in there that falls through the cracks.
Right.
We don't want that. We'll just be like, let's just show you where the cracks are.
Right.
And let's fill that in so that
let's get some pitch.
So that you can keep the increase that God has brought. Come on. Right. Yeah, that's the thing. So yeah.
You don't want to be losing, it's like you have there's a proverb about having holes in your money sack or something.
I'm trying to tell you, this thing is biblical.
Yeah. You ain't lying.
It's really deep. It's really, really deep. And so in the model, we talk about ideate, which is like your vision, clarity.
Yeah, ideate is one of those words where like you either know it or you don't.
Right. Yeah. It's crucial. It's where you should be at all times. And then we have formulate, and we create what we call a PIB, which is a process integrative blueprint.
Okay.
The PIB is very critical. Then we have ideate, formulate, and then we have create.
Okay, I'm about to say something 8.
Yep.
About to get full.
We have create, then we have automate and delegate, and then we have recreate. And it's a cog. You know what a cog is?
Yeah, like a cog in a
machine?
Wheel? Yeah.
So our model is in a cog format. In the center is evaluate, because you have to evaluate all those things.
Yeah.
When you implant our cog into your machine, it will get it really running. Like a well-oiled
it's like you had a wheel spinning here and a wheel spinning here, or not spinning here.
Yeah.
You plug it in and now
And the model is called Cogfinity. Because you put those two together, infinite amount of...
Cogfinity.
Yeah, that's what it's called. That's what it is.
If you hadn't explained it to me, I'd be like, Cogfinity.
What's that? But that's what it is. Yeah, and we keep going through that model. And as you notice, it's cyclical because God only grows things in cycles.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's be real. I don't want to be the cog. I want to have the cog,
And that's the point. That's the point.
See?
That's the point. That's why we created that model. It's like, you need to plug this in, and it will reveal all these issues and blind spots when we go through and when you really dig into what all these areas of the cog mean.
Yeah, it's a framework or a system for fixing your frameworks and systems.
Period. And the beautiful thing about it is then you don't have to necessarily recreate your company to fit around. Yeah. That's the problem with many operational systems out there, and small business owners don't use it because they have to like recreate their business to fit that.
Right.
No, we'll just plug our stuff in to the problem areas that you see, and it'll probably reveal other stuff too. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, what is the reaction that you get from business owners? I mean, is it like, oh, I already knew all that? Like, I'm just sure you get it the gamut, or is it that when you start plugging these things in, like what is the normal reaction you get?
So the first reaction I got, because I wasn't coaching it, I was just doing it, was pushback. That's never gonna work.
Okay.
That's ridiculous. It was so counterintuitive.
Sure.
And I was just like, you gotta trust me. You gotta trust me on this. No. And then they'll just say, whatever, I can't. Go ahead. Because they don't have the bandwidth to do anything. And then when it works, it's like, I can't believe that worked.
Yeah.
How? Why? Why is it so good? And I would literally just be like, it's God's way.
Yeah.
And whether they were Christian or not, I'd just be like, it's God's way. You're just being in alignment with how God does his thing. So he can pour you out.
Right. The gifts and calling of God are without repentance.
And then I leave it there.
I think about it like golf. I just took up golf. I've been hanging out with Myron too much.
Taking up golf.
My son Christian and I have started playing some golf, and everything in golf is like a game of opposites. Like if you think, like at least in the beginning it is. If you think you're supposed to do this in order to get this result, when you try that, you're going to get the opposite result.
The opposite result, yes.
So then when you do the opposite of what you thought you were supposed to do, then all of a sudden it works. It's like, hey, I want to make the ball go far. Swing it harder. No. You want the ball go further, swing it softer, right? Almost like swing it smoother,
Yeah.
And it's like...
And even the size of the driver.
Oh, yeah. All makes a difference.
Wait, that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but that was the first reaction. Because I met Myron, I said, well, let me coach them through what it is. Once I coached them through what it is, no more resistance.
Yeah, okay.
And with the coaching,
because now they know they're getting this ahead of time. It's not just you're coming from the side.
Yeah.
You're like I'm a consultant.
Yeah.
I'm bringing in a framework.
Yeah. And when I was coaching, I would get a lot of, what was weird to me, because, in the business world and corporations and all the things, you can't just flip open the scriptures and say, so see in Genesis chapter, you can't just do that. I remember starting off just saying the principles, and they'll be like, where'd you get that principle from? And I'm like, well, from scripture, Genesis. They would pull out their Bibles and say, that's not in there. And they'll be looking, and I'm like, it's right there. And it's just right there. I wasn't even trying to have a Bible study right now. But in essence, for your company. And then I veer back. But so now the reactions are most so like, this is amazing. Now I'm getting I want to license this. Can I come speak at my event because this is so amazing. And you need to be out there. That's the reaction I'm getting now. And I think that's so powerful. And for me, I wanted to know how long it would take me to go from 0 to 7 figures based on my operational model.
Sure.
Do you want to guess?
I feel ill-equipped, unqualified.
It was a shock to me too.
Yeah.
6 months.
Wow. Congratulations. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. 0 to 7 figures in 6 months, and now headed into multiple 7 figures. Just seeing because I'm doing it for everyone else.
Sure.
So I'm like, let me see what happens when I
do it for myself.
Really,
go ahead and
yeah. I built out a team of 13.
Okay.
In 4 or 5 months. Super effective.
Yeah.
They're global. So I have United States, I have Filipinos, I have people in Colombia, I have and they're just great at what they do.
Sure.
And folk are just like, how are you? I've done it for my clients where I've built out their teams in record time based on the framework. Because I knew exactly what I was when you know what you're looking for? It's like a deck of cards. Let's say you have a deck of cards and you're looking for a jack. Yeah. You're just going through the rest. You don't have time to sit, wait, check it out.
No, that's a jack of clubs. I need a jack of spades.
Yeah, right. You just... And they're wondering how I'm doing it so fast because I know exactly
that's good.
what I'm looking for.
That's good.
Because of the framework.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I think, I can tell you even from personal experience, part of, you're talking ideate and formulate, and I'm not, I don't know what I don't know what the next level of your thing is, but I'm just thinking of, I think a lot of people don't ideate, right? So then they formulate 10 different things, and they try to smash every this stuff together, pull this, and they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. Hodgepodge. Yeah.
Just
mess. It's a mess. I got you.
And then they call me in, and they're like, fix it.
Yeah. Well, being specific, right, and targeting your target and staying focused. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, a lot of us are naturally ADD, so it's hard to keep us focused. And so having an operational mind, whether it's through a consultant like yourself or, a COO, right? Somebody to pair you up with that does that operational stuff, and they're focused on those operational things so that you're able to go and do the ideate, so that they can do the formulate and all the other pieces.
And the team can do the rest.
Correct.
So it's so funny.
So then you get to automate and delegate.
There you go.
Right.
See, look at how well you already know.
I'm ready. I'm ready to license. Listen, just go ahead and go to automateregulatedelegate.com.
All the things. It's so funny though, because so I've had clients that say, well, I have a COO. How can you help us?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is great.
Perfect. Even better.
It's perfect. Yeah. Because they'll understand this on levels you just won't.
Or I'll have their attention for longer.
Literally. Yeah. And what I always tell them is, do not say to them that you're bringing some operations person in there, because they're going to think, no, let them know this is part of just work development.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, like I mentioned before, this system does not replace what you have going on.
Yeah.
It reveals, and you can fill in those gaps, and you can skip. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
So it's like, I want to speak to your CEO. And many of them that don't have it, I help them find their CEO. I help them find their COO, because I'm like, I need you to, we're building this thing so that when you decide on a random Tuesday that you're done. Sell it.
Yeah, sell it.
Or license it, or you know, hire a CEO to do all the things so you can relax and still get paid.
Yeah, you know, we're recording this on a Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Oh,
you know?
You're not planning already.
I might just have to.
Oh my goodness! You're like, wait, let me bring that in real quick. So on a Tuesday,
I might be like, you know what? I'm going to the beach. I'm talking inside the hotel. I'm ready to go outside and go sit on the beach.
Yeah. So it's really effective. It really has blessed my life.
Yeah,
I'm happy to now be able to bless so many more, because it's more than just word of mouth.
Yeah.
Just to tell you how serious this is, there's a city, and I won't say where it is because I guess that's like information I cannot share.
Confidential information.
Right, but a city somewhere here in the United States of America, when I introduced my model to them, they're ready to hire me.
Nice.
To help them in their space.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I know that this is like gonna reach far and wide.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready for it. That's why I built out the team. I said, well, if we're gonna go out there, if we're gonna share, I need to have my team ready. So
yeah.
I'm excited.
That's good stuff. Well, congratulations. That's really cool.
Thank you so much.
So obviously, there may be some people out here watching that own a business and they're ready to get themselves fixed, right? I imagine the desk with a stack of papers on it, right? And there's no real rhyme or reason to what's in what stack, you know, but they know where it is. They know what
it is.
Right?
But then they're overwhelmed, right?
That's my point.
Yeah.
So they got a list of things that need to get done. They're a little bit overwhelmed. They have people maybe on their team. They have hired some people, but when they think of hiring people, they think of, you know, the jack of all trades, right? They're not thinking of a jack of spades. They're hiring people to do so many different tasks. So this is just how they think.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that this person is watching.
Yes.
They're out there, right?
They're there.
You're here somewhere, right?
We know you're there.
Yeah, exactly. So when you, like, how would they find you? Would they find you on social media and then follow the links? When we will, like, I'll get the links for you guys.
Right.
Because
and put them in your...
Yeah, somewhere.
In there.
Yeah.
Yes, but my website is myname.com, so KewanaMcDonald.com.
Okay.
They can find me there.
All right.
And then on that website also has links.
Yeah.
To all my Instagram and my Facebook and my YouTube and my... You know, my team keeps putting me on other things. I think I'm even on X.
You might even be on X, got it. Yeah, but right now you're in the ideate because you've already got all these other things. You done formulated.
Listen, it's all there. What we're doing is we're constantly recreating.
No, you said formulate, create.
Yes, it is ideate, formulate, create.
Okay.
Automate, delegate, recreate. So we're
evaluate.
It's all
in the middle. Yeah, I got you.
So listen. Ryan is like, listen,
I'm ready. Put me in the game, coach.
But so we're at this recreative process where they're like, okay, how many more people can we get this to?
Yeah.
How many more people can we help?
Yeah.
How many more people? So I'm super, super excited about that.
Yeah.
So they can find me on KewanaMcDonald.com.
Perfect. So as you can imagine, as you're watching Kewana, the famous Kewana McDonald, you saw her here first, folks. As you're watching this, you know, one of my thoughts is you probably need payment processing to throw into that. You know
my goodness.
You might. I know where you can find some payment processing. There's a link for that as well, as always. You know?
Ryan, I'm going to tell some of my clients about your payment processing link.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Because I think more so than not, people need. Listen, I'm just telling you.
Those are big facts. Look, I got an epidemic on my hands of people that are using Stripe, Square, and PayPal. And I just feel so bad for them because by the time they get to me, right? Like I can help people, but like it's one thing if you come to me on the front end.
Yeah.
It's another thing if you come to me like, Stripe's holding $600,000, Ryan, what do I do? And I'm like, look, I can walk you through the process of getting them the documentation and stuff that they need, but I don't work for Stripe, right?
Real story.
Yeah.
Real story, true story.
Real story.
Just last week, I was on the phone with one of my clients and we were talking about something. And we were mentioning cash flow because that's a big deal with the operational systems and all the things. And she said to me, Stripe is holding my money right now. Man. And she was like, I am like trying to pull from this and pull from that to fill in the gaps until they decide to release it. And I said,
100%. And listen, it's an emergency when this happens because when the cash flow spigot stops, right? When the flow stops.
Yes, and you have salaries to pay.
Everything is on hold. We got to feel like, oh God, we got to figure it out. And then let me just tell you, no matter what company you're working with, right? They're not, I mean, I would say our company is one of the better ones as far as a sense of urgency to when you're urgent. Right. But like nobody's as urgent as you are when your cash flow's turned off.
Exactly.
Right. You are hot, mad, ready to fire everybody.
Period.
And unfortunately, what the business model for a lot of these other providers is they get you in the door very quickly. They make it super convenient to get started. I can start processing payments right now and it scratches that itch, right? Especially for those ADD entrepreneurs. You know, they're setting up their website and setting up this, setting up that, boom,
and
it's
now
already.
We can grab payment and it's not a problem.
Already in there.
Yeah.
Whereas our process would take a day to underwrite it, you know, just to make sure that like you are who you say you are, you know. The problem is on these other providers, when you start taking payments, now they're like, whoa. I know we set you up on an account, we said you take payments, but that $1,000, $10,000 payments.
Yeah,
like,
that's a lot of payments.
You didn't tell us that you were going to be doing that.
You're on this level.
Now they want to underwrite you on the back end, and then you're stuck.
And that's why they're holding it.
Correct. Well, a lot of times there's many reasons. And look, people's money gets held on a regular basis with regular payment processors. Even with us, people will have their money held, but it'll be like, hey, we set somebody up. Their average ticket is $1,000. High ticket's $10,000. But now they just did a $100,000 transaction.
Right.
And it's like, okay, obviously that's out of the ordinary. It's a red flag. We're going to just grab that and just make sure like you didn't fat finger that, right? Like that wasn't supposed to be 10,000 and you did 100,000.
Right.
And they may be like, well, can you just send us the invoice for what that is? Because we underwrote you already. We don't have to now figure out what business you're in. Legitimize
do all the work.
Right? Which is what these other places have to do that. These other places have to figure out what you are.
Right.
And what type of business you're in, because they didn't do the underwriting on the front end. We do the underwriting on the front end, make sure you're a legitimate business. You can fog a mirror. We do the pulse test, the whole bit. You know, we don't actually do pulse test.
But can I just share something with what you're saying? Ideate, formulate.
Yeah.
Formulate is number 2.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, people don't really do extensive formulating. Let me say it this way. God created the earth in 6 days.
Yeah.
And then he rested on the 7th.
Yeah.
How much planning did he put into that? Because here's the thing, he didn't say, I'm gonna work on this. I didn't get to finish this on day 1, so I'm gonna carry it over to day 2. And I didn't, just to talk about strategic, are you ready for it?
Yeah.
He created the sun on day 4.
Right.
After the trees were created on day 3. Why? How?
I have never thought about that before.
Yeah, it's like, but doesn't the tree need the sun and all that? Like, but the fact, God doesn't make mistakes. So the fact that he created the sun on day 4 was strategic. I know why, I had to study it, but it was strategic that he did it that way. What I'm saying is every day was by design.
Yeah.
He didn't just, I'm gonna create this and then boom, 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 and now it will run into the next day, whatever.
You know what he did do though?
What did he do?
On day 4, he created the sun and the moon.
And the stars also.
And then it says, and he made the stars also.
Yeah.
Like,
right. But the idea is everything was planned and formulated and strategic and all the things. And many business owners, if they were to really sit and plan, they probably would not just pick up and choose any old, if they really understood the direction they were going
and what's funny is all, like in a place like we're at now, we're at a mastermind where a bunch of other entrepreneurs are at. One of the very common conversations I'm having with people every time I come to something like this is that conversation. Like, oh man, Stripe's got $400,000 of mine right now. I mean, it is basically every time I come to one of these things, somebody's having that conversation with me and they are looking at me like I need help, right? They got that panicked look in their eyes and I'm like, look, I can help you by walking you through the process to like guarantee in some way, shape or form that you're going to get everything that they want to see to them as quickly as possible. But I can't control what they do to it once they get it, which they probably, in most cases, if you're a legitimate business, they'll probably release your funds. I mean, I'm not, I don't want to
from now. Just saying.
A lot of times you get an email, look, and it says, we're going to look at this in 45 days.
Yeah.
So you're going to get all your stuff together and get it to them. They're not even going to look at it
That's
for 45 days.
I'm trying to tell you.
So talk about 90 days of them holding your money, in some cases, and those may be the extreme cases, right? There's other people that have had those providers and had no issues.
Yeah.
But why risk it when you can have a place where there's somebody in your corner, right, that can actually help you
push through,
right? Well, not even that, just actually help you make sure that you avoid those pitfalls. Like find the blind spot.
That part.
Don't
you see how we work well
step
together,
on
right?
those landmines.
Yes, absolutely.
As you're going, don't do that.
Don't do that.
No, it's a big deal, and not for nothing. Like payment processing and business management software, which is like whether it's a restaurant, a retail shop, and it's the point of sale system, or it's a trades company like plumbers, electricians, and we're doing the dispatch software for them, or whatever it is. Because we kind of deal with the tools that they use to process their payments.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, it has to be something that adds value to the business and improves their processes and their bottom line in order for them to want to do business with us, right? Because then the payment processing was really the business we're in. It's kind of an afterthought, right? And no longer are we in this game of, what's your rate? Let me nickel and dime you, and it's a race to the bottom, which we have very competitive, great rates. But it's better for us, at least, when we're able to provide something of value to the customer, and then they're happier with us because at least they're not like, hey, at least you're less than Stripe, right? And I get a person that can help me. I mean, like, come on. I mean, that's a much better process.
That is a much better process. But we might really have to work together.
That's right.
We really might have to do that.
Blow it up. That's right. We'll do it.
Great.
We'll do it. So I appreciate you being here.
It was awesome. This has been good. I love having these kind of conversations.
Yeah.
Love helping the business owner.
Yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what, business owners need a lot of help. It's funny right now, as we're recording this, it's 2024, and there's a lot of talk right now about like the economy is about to, take a hit. And you can see it in like business owners' eyes. I deal almost exclusively with business owners as merchants, and then the other business owners I deal with are just other people that serve merchants, right? So like yourself, and man, I talk to merchants, especially when I'm out, talking to our clients out in the field and stuff. And it's just like, man, you can see it in their eyes, you know? And so they need help. And at times like this, your service becomes even more valuable to them, because when the money's flowing and the top line is blowing it up, you're like, well, let's just keep adding to the top, But when that's slowing down, now all of a sudden we got to start looking at that second half of that profit and loss sheet and start seeing like, all right, what's going on here?
What's happening? And you'll see a lot of redundancies. You'll see a lot of issues that wasn't built out properly. You'll have, it's like they were trying to make a sandwich. Yeah. And then they put turkey on it or something. And then they took a bite and realized, I don't like turkey. So instead of taking the turkey out, they put like salami on top, and then they add cheese, and then they put sauce, and then they're like really trying to just layer to mask
and take a bite in between turkey, each one.
And it's just like, just take
the turkey out. Stop being a turkey and take the turkey out.
But I just see so much of that, and it's no longer simple. It's no longer. We literally say to our clients, if you can't simplify it, cognify it. And we literally tell them that.
That's a good note to end on. I appreciate that. All right, so we'll put links for you guys to be able to get in touch with Kewana down somewhere in the wherever links go and wherever you're watching this video or listening to this podcast. But I do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
It was awesome. Thanks for having me.
It's been a real blast. I appreciate you guys tuning in with us and spending time with us today. We're having a great time. I hope you guys are having a great time too. And look, if you need to start looking at your operations, now will be a great time. Everybody keeps talking about what's coming in the economy. I think now is the perfect time to look. Whether the economy comes out and it's great or it's not, right? The ones that are able to adapt and that are pliable are the ones that are going to win in these next coming, months and years to come.
Absolutely.
Because the economy is changing with AI, all the different stuff that's coming on, everything's changing. And so you got to be figuring out how, what systems can you plug into your business or refine in your business that are going to take you to that next level. So appreciate you guys being here. We will see you on the next one.